Hello everyone, and welcome to my top 10 favourite Pokemon. This has been recorded right after my least favourite Pokemon video, so yeah. And just like the last one, they will be based mostly on my experiences with them. So yeah. However, there are some that are just based on, how good they are in the actual game. I might have had some good times with them, but mostly just due to their stats and moves and things like that. So yeah, well, let's get on with number 10. And for number 10 we have Dunsparce. The reason why I like Dunsparce is not only did he help me in X and Y, but he's got Serene Grace, which he was known for back in Pokemon Battle Revolution. If you saw that, it was most like the Serene Grace. I mean, why would you have run away on him? And you would usually find him Rock Slide. You might find him with a Quick Claw or something to make him go fast and make you flinch, But in X and Y, I had him learn things like, I think it was Poison Tail or something, or Iron Head or something. Either one of those two. He was able to help me through the Fairy Dungeon, things like that. Not Fairy Dungeon, the Fairy Gym. And he was also quite defensive. So yeah, all round he was a good Pokemon. Not just because it's Anri's mascot. I'll say that. So yeah, on to number 9, who was also good in X and Y for me. In slot number 9 we have Snorlax. Snorlax was actually the MVP of my X and Y playthrough. The reason why is he had lots of HP. Thankfully for me, he also had immunity. Thick Fat would have been nice as well, but he had immunity for me. I've actually still got him on my Alpha Sapphire data, so I can actually use him for competitive if I wanted. One of the reasons why he was also my best Pokemon is I actually took the time to do super training on him and get him max CV in attack and health. Bit of speed, but not much. So when it came to Giga Impact and Heavy Slam and things like that, nothing was living it. Just, okay, I don't want you to live. Giga Impact. With a Silk Scarf, he was doing lots of damage. One-shotting almost everything. He also had something else. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember the move I had on him, but I had to keep deleting it and relearn it. I think it was a HM or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was pretty damn useful on him. But anyway, on to number 8. In slot number 8 we have Togekiss. The reason why I like Togekiss is when Beck was doing Free For All Thursdays, I had the idea to bring a Sun team. I cannot remember what the theme was, but I brought a Sun team. It wasn't the weather one, I know that for a fact. I had Mega Charizard Y to bring up Drought. But here's where Togekiss shines. Togekiss could learn a lot of moves. I think Solar Beam might have been one of them. Can he learn Solar Beam? I just want to make sure. I don't want to look like an idiot. Yeah, Solar Beam. He could also learn Heat Wave. Not only that, but he was pretty bulky. And could also deal a lot of damage as well. And with Serene Grace, things like burn or whatever, that would be a lot more likely. Heat Wave can burn as well, can it? Let's just make sure just now. Yep, 10% chance of burning. So yeah. Heat Wave will also destroy round rocks found in the background of battles. That's interesting. I never knew that. Anyway, yep, that'll be 20% chance of burning. No problem. But yeah, on to number 7. In the number 7 slot we have Primate slash Mankey. Now, I don't know if I've told you this story before, but basically in Pokemon Yellow when I first got it, I was really young. I didn't know that Mankey was a fighting type. I was pretty stupid back then. So stupid in fact, I got a Rattata, a Pidgey, and Pikachu had Tail Whip, and so did Rattata. I would send out Rattata against Geodude, use Tail Whip 6 times, and then have Pidgey use Gust and take out Geodude, because they didn't have Rock type moves. It was the same for Onix, so I would use Pikachu, and I would do the exact same thing. But when I found out that Nidoran could learn Double Kick, that Mankey was a fighting type and could learn Low Kick, or Butterfree could learn Confusion, and evolve to level 10, so yeah. I used them. But out of the 3, Primate proved to be the most useful throughout the entire game. Fast, hits hard, and, well, because he was fast, he would crit a bit more, and with Karate Chop, which was a normal type move I believe back in the day, that had a higher crit ratio, he would crit pretty much every time with that. And he's still useful today, because Vital Spirit. What did I say in my least favourite Pokemon video? Vital Spirit for Darkrai. He's also a fighting type. So, one close combat would probably take out Darkrai, if the Darkrai wasn't built defensively. So yeah, in my opinion, he is one of the counters to Darkrai in my opinion. I haven't really seen all the competitive stuff and everything, so I don't know, but to me, he is a dang nice Pokemon. Anyway, on to number 6. If you know me, you know that one of my most favourite Pokemon, if not my favourite Pokemon from 4th generation, is Dialga. Dialga and slot number 5 being some of my most favourite steel types in the entire series. The reason why I like Dialga is, well, first off, he's the master of time. Or the guardian, or whatever you want to call him. His Roar of Time has got him out of a lot of sticky situations, as you'll probably have saw in Zeta as well. And just his typing works really nicely for him. He's not weak to the usual dragon, and he can in fact be sent out against a fairy, and use Flash Cannon or something if it doesn't switch out. He is just really dang nicely built. So, yeah. Also, did I mention he's the master of time? I have to emphasize that point. A little thing is, I've always named my Dialgas after either the Doctor or something related to the show. Like the first one I ever got was called Time Lord. I've still got him as well. He's went from 4th gen all the way to 6th gen. And I also traded one away during One Wonder Trade Wednesday called D-Pad Doc, which is a reference to 2 things, of course, the Doctor and D-Pad Doc, the person who Wonder Trades out a lot of awesome Pokemon. So yeah. Number 6 is Dialga. And number 5, for those of you who know me, you'll probably have guessed what this is. Of course, if you know me, you'll have already guessed it's Bronzong, in slot 5. Bronzong, my love for him comes before 6th gen was a thing. Because in 6th gen, obviously, they changed Steel's resistances. as in it no longer resists dark and ghost. Oh well. That makes Bronzong and Metagross have 2 more weaknesses. But before that point, in Generation 4, one of his abilities would counter his weakness. If they have the third ability for some reason in Gen 5, well, they're weak to both the weaknesses, so yeah. But that's the thing with these guys. You might expect a Levitate Bronzong, but if it's fireproof and you use a fire type move on it, it won't do that much. If you're used to seeing heatproof ones for whatever reason, you could go for a ground type move, and then he'll be completely immune to it. Or if you done what I done against one of my friends, I had a triple battle with him in 5th generation. I had 2 Bronzongs with Levitate and 4 with heatproof. One of them that had heatproof was more physically built. He used Earthquake to hit all 3 of his guys, and the other 2 would use either buffing moves or hit the enemy with special attacks. I won against him with 6 Bronzongs, and I can't remember what his team was, but I only lost like 1 or 2 Bronzongs. I can't remember. I might have been over exaggerating the amount I lost, but I did win. I know that for a fact. 6 Bronzongs, beat an entire team of guys. But yeah, he learns a lot of useful moves that influence the field of battle, like Trick Room. That's pretty much what he was known for back in 4th gen. Along with both screens, he's defensive already, so yeah. And if you were that guy, you could have explosion on him, and you could put a silk scarf on him. Yeah. So if you know he's gonna die, and if you decide to put like a quick claw on him instead of put up a trick room, you could go first and explode. And if you've got a ghost type ally, well, that was a free hit on both enemies for 250 base power. So yeah, what's not to love about Bronzong? He was one of the most versatile Pokemon in my opinion, just because he could go out to anything and take the damage, no problem. So yeah. Anyway, on to number 4, who's going to be quite surprising for a lot of people. In the number 4 slot, we have Crobat. The reason why I love Crobat so much. Basically, any playthrough of any game I've done, whether it be Crystal, whether it be Emerald, or Diamond, or Platinum, or Black, or Black 2 and White 2, or X and Y, or even Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, I have always had a Crobat on the team. No matter what game, I always get a Crobat. So, yeah. He is one of my favourite Pokemon because he's fast. Unfortunately, he wasn't in 1st gen, so I couldn't use him then. Golbat was as high as that could go. But yeah, he was fast. He does some nice physical damage. He also learns Fly, which is really useful, because he could go first, dodge an attack and everything. And eventually when the time comes when he wasn't that good, I could keep him around as a Fly slave. But he would already be still high leveled because I used him. He also learns things like Cross Poison and Poison Fang for badly poison. He's immune to flinching. And with his hidden ability Infiltrator, yeah, not a problem. So yeah, and he was also really easy to get because Zubats, you could find them anywhere pretty much. If it was dark outside, you'll probably find one on a route. If you're going into a cave, heck, they were everywhere. So, yeah, Crobat. Love him. And in slot number 3, In slot number 3, we have the Pokemon I only know as the Tank, Regirock. Recently, well, a bit less recently now, I had made a team that was specifically to work with Sandstorm for one of Baraki XY's free-for-all Thursdays that unfortunately didn't happen. This Pokemon was made specifically to be the tank of the team. With the Sandstorm, he was also EV trained in special defense to the max. He also had an assault vest. So, yeah, he had Drain Punch. He was also EV trained in half the points went into defense, half the points went into attack. He has clear body, so you cannot lower that already high defense. Drain Punch, heal up. Stone Edge, high crit, stab, things like that. I can't remember all the moves on him, but all I know is Chivi. I'll have to ask Chivi, was your Among Us max special attack? Because if so, I'll just say, tanking like 5 or 6 Giga Drains, that is impressive. But that's how he earned the title of the Tank. So yeah, it's a pity the battle didn't, the free-for-all Thursday didn't go on ahead. In fact, I will link, for anyone who's interested in what the whole team was, I will link a video to Chibiviri's battle with me, because she was doing a battle series. I was one of the battles, and yep, showed off the tank. It was a close battle actually, a really good battle, and I don't battle that much now, so yeah. Anyway, on to slot number 2, who also comes with a nice big story. If any of my friends from high school watch this, which I doubt they do, they'll know this Pokemon all too well. Haxorus, or as he was named, Hacks Are Us. This guy has a lot to say about him, so yeah, get the popcorn. This entry could take a bit. It started off with one summer, me wanting to make a team that was, just all round, a tank Pokemon, a couple sweepers, a buffer, things like that. The team ended up as Ninjask, me and Shao, Haxorus, Crocodile, Cryogonal, and Kabutops. In the team's first debut, only 3 Pokemon were used, and that was Ninjask, Haxorus, and Crocodile. Ninjask managed to get a buff up, or 2, and then baton passed out to Haxorus, who had a Focus Sash. I was also basing the Haxorus off of Iris's Haxorus before the game had actually came out, because I saw, okay, it's got a Focus Sash. I'll show my friends what they're going to be up against in the next game. It turned out I was a lot more annoying than her Haxorus because, well, it was EV trained and all that good stuff. Haxorus was one-shotting everything on my friend's team, and this was my second in command, as he was being called at the time, because every time people battled me back in high school and whatever, I would always seem to win somehow. I didn't admit to being the best, but they said, you don't want to face him, he'll just kick your ass, something like that. Haxorus was pretty much my main Pokemon then. When it came to another battle later on, this is where he got the Hacks Are Us title. One of my friends challenged me to a 3-on-3 battle. I think it was anyway. Haxorus had one-shot my friend's Gigalith, and I was into Gigalith as well, so yeah. He'd one-shot him from full health, which Sturdy prevented that, or should have. However, Mold Breaker. I thought it wasn't a smart idea to have Mold Breaker, but in actual fact, it allows him to kill Shedinja, anyone with Sturdy, outright. Unless, of course, they've got a Focus Sash. Which I kept telling my friends, but they didn't put a Focus Sash on their guys until the very end before I left high school. So, yeah. That we were both wondering what had went on, but then I realised I had Mold Breaker. So he got the title, Hacks Are Us. For the next 2 years, he had went undefeated. Anytime he was brought into a battle, he wasn't defeated. Yeah, say I wasn't going all out. I was being merciful. Like, he'd already killed 3 of my opponent's Pokemon back at high school. I would be merciful and I would just keep then spamming Dragon Dance, and I would say, you know what, kill him, so we can actually have some more fun. Yeah, it came to the point where I had to apologise and say, here, kill him. Let's see what else we can do, huh? But for 2 straight years, he'd went undefeated without, excluding the points where I was merciful and let him be defeated. He wasn't actually properly defeated. So I still have him. He is on my Alpha Sapphire game just now, along with the next Pokemon. And I should also mention, Haxorus, he kind of left the team after the first debut battle. Because, yeah, he was so powerful. He became a one-man show. So yeah, anyway, number 1, after 5 minutes of telling that story. If you know me, you should know who's won this top favourite Pokemon thing. I am of course talking about Sigilyph. Before Black and White ever came out, I saw the Pokemon that were announced and everything, and I thought, that Pokemon looks interesting. If I find him in the game, I'm definitely catching him because he looks pretty damn nice. When I got to Desert Resort, I found Sigilyph. The one I had Magic Guard and was female. He had lowered attack and increased, was it speed? Yeah. At first, I was like, it's not that good, but I did level her up. When I got to the 8th gym and everyone else had fainted, that's when Sigilyph showed its true power. The Haxorus. Confusion. I confused the enemy. Haxorus kept hitting itself. Sigilyph wasn't dying. Sigilyph had clutched me the victory in that gym. In the Elite Four, he became one of my main 2 Pokemon along with Gigalith. And ever since then, I've just secretly loved Sigilyph. Until of course now when I've got a channel and, well, my mascot is Sigilyph. And it came to the point where I made multiple Sigilyphs. The only other Pokemon I made multiple of for battling was Bronzong at that point. All different ones. Multiple defensive variants, multiple offensive variants, multiple trickster variants. I think I had like 6 or 7 different Bronzongs. I had about the same amount of different Sigilyphs. When I brought my main story Sigilyph into Wi-Fi, he had a sweep. He swept an entire enemy team of 3 Pokemon. Because this was back in Black and White Wi-Fi where only 3-on-3s were allowed, pretty much. So, yeah, he killed a superior and a Firo. But then the funny thing was, note how I said he had lowered physical attack. He one-shot a Volcarona without a crit. I'm not joking. I still have the battle on the battle videos on my main black file. So if anyone doubts it, I can just whip out my iPod. It'll be terrible quality. I can set the battle video to play, and I'll show legitimately that I one-shot a Volcarona with fly with lowered physical attack. That was the second moment which Sigilyph was pretty much the best Pokemon for me. And of course, how I said I had multiple different variants. One of them was a speed special attack variant, one of them was a speed physical attack variant. Because the fly, that just made me want to, just for all the lols. There was obviously the cosmic power, stored power variant. But then there was one of my favourite variants. Speed, Flame Orb, and Psycho Shift. Which I've had a couple people tell me it's actually a pretty interesting and nice looking Sigilyph. Basically, I named him Psycho. The whole reason though was based off of Krieg from Borderlands 2, who utilised fire to take out his enemies. So, yeah. And it just stuck. One of my friends, he had brought a couple physical attackers and something else to a battle that we had to test him out. And that Sigilyph was able to sweep his team because of that. But because of that Flame Orb and Protect, making me safe for a turn, and then transferring it onto him, I was able to also outspeed him. So, yeah. It was max speed, it was nature boosting speed as well. I was able to sweep his team. But yeah. And of course, he was my first shiny that I bred for. 161 eggs it took to get a shiny Sigilyph. And of course I named it Scottish Boy, because, yeah. And conveniently, it had Magic Guard, and of course it was male. So, yeah. That is the story behind Sigilyph. So, yeah. And of course, another good thing about Sigilyph, he could be used in any weather team. Because he learns a lot of good moves as well, that can all be utilised in any kind of weather. And of course, he doesn't take damage from ice, well, he does take damage from ice. He doesn't take damage from hail, he doesn't take damage from sandstorm. So yeah, he could be used pretty much anywhere. The only thing he can't really be used in though is a Trick Room team. But that's besides the point. But yeah, number 1, Sigilyph. That was a longer story than Hacksaw Russ. But yeah, this has been Scotch Boy 112, signing out. And actually, the summary. In slot number 10, we had Dunsparce. In slot number 9, Snorlax. Number 8, Togekiss. Number 7, Primeape. Number 6, Dialga. Bronzong in 5. Crobat in 4. Regirock the Tank in 3. Haxorus in 2. Or Haxorus. And number 1. Well, this one was to be expected. Sigilyph. Yeah, this has been Scotch Boy 112. Signing out.